When someone you admire lies to you, you don't treat that lie like a neutral piece of data. Your emotional attachment gets to the scene of the crime first. The feeling arrives long before the cold judgment can even wake up.
The Problem with Just One by Dr. Benjamin Feldman.
You say you'll have just one chip, and the next thing you know, the bag is half empty. You tell yourself you'll check your phone for 2 minutes, and suddenly an hour of your life has evaporated. That's not a failure of willpower or bad logic. That's your brain running on a simple script, chasing a quick hit of dopamine. And the scary part is that this mechanism doesn't stop at snack food or doom scrolling. It scales up to everything you care about. When someone you admire lies to you, you don't treat that lie like a neutral piece of data. Your emotional attachment gets to the scene of the crime first. The feeling arrives long before the cold judgment can even wake up. So you do what humans do best. You explain it away, you minimize the damage, or you retrain your eyes so you don't see it at all. You rationalize the red flags because acknowledging them would mean breaking the illusion. Not because you're stupid, but because you're human, and your brain prefers a comfortable lie over an uncomfortable realignment of reality. Look at how political devotion works in practice. Look at Trump. He can claim in a morning speech that the US has already completely obliterated Iran's nuclear capabilities. Tell a crowd 2 hours later that the military urgently needs to go in and destroy those same targets, and then swing right back to the first story by evening. To an outside observer, it looks like pure chaos, but his core followers don't drop off. They adapt to every single U-turn in real time. They aren't following a consistent logical line. They are riding an emotional wave. His voice doesn't deliver facts. It delivers a predictable dopamine hit of reassurance, collective power, and deep tribal belonging. And this psychological trap cuts both ways, locking the leader into the exact same cycle as the follower. He can't allow a narrative of defeat or personal humiliation, because accepting a loss means an instant drop in status and a brutal crash in neurochemistry. So he has no choice but to keep doubling down. He escalates war talk, recycles stolen election narratives, and attacks every institution in sight, not because there is a master strategy behind it, but because asserting dominance gives him that same desperate dopamine rush he needs to survive the day. This is why psychologists like Dr. John Gardner issue such grim warnings about leadership under stress. When people with severe patterns, like malignant narcissism, combined with age-related cognitive decline, are backed into a corner, they don't soften. Age doesn't bring wisdom to a brain wired this way. It strips away the filters. The defensive mechanisms harden. The need for emotional validation becomes insatiable, and that trajectory points straight toward disaster for everyone tied to the system. But beware of the pot calling the kettle black. In his book, The Social Animal, David Brooks points out a fundamental truth about human nature. We don't fall in love, choose a career, or join political movements through a process of cold, analytical logic. We attach first, we feel the pull, we join the team, and only then do we construct elaborate intellectual scaffolding to defend that choice. We like to think we believe something because it makes logical sense. In reality, it makes logical sense to us simply because we already believe it. That's precisely why facts rarely change anyone's mind in an argument. You can present mountains of evidence, lay out airtight statistics, and watch the other person nod in complete technical understanding, and then watch them go right back to the exact same pattern 5 minutes later. Information doesn't drive human behavior. Something much deeper, much more primal is sitting in the driver's seat. Can that be cultivated? It is something to think about. Find detailed companion material to my videos in my Substack at the intersection BF. I post a new video every week in this channel at the intersection of mind, society, history, science, and politics. You can post your comments below and mention the topic you'd like to see discussed.